And we're rolling. Here you go. Ugh. Put on your mic. I recommend this is where the microphone is. This is where the microphone is. So I recommend you do this, like that, right underneath your shirt. It's better.
I hear your recommendation, but no.
It's not gonna stay, Sky. It's too thick. It's too thick, Sky. I'm telling you how to do it, and you don't listen.
What else do you tell me how to do that I don't listen how to do, Chris?
I'm just trying to help you.
You just trying to help?
Clearly, you don't want it. You clearly don't want the help.
Anyways, back to the show. Sorry, I gotta get the mic on still. I'm just gonna clip it right there. How's that? Does that work? Does that work for you?
Yeah, but your hair is like right on the mic. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't put your hair on it. It's
Okay.
Okay, cool.
As if I know where my hair is. Anyways, continuing on.
Are you hosting this or am I hosting this?
It's a co-host, bro.
Welcome to the Skylar and Chris Oak Show. We are going to talk about random topics today that
Pertain to the music industry. I thought you were hosting stuff. Why are you stopping?
I was thinking for a sec if we're at the intro. We can make this better.
This is great. Keep going. Keep rolling.
Okay. Welcome to the Chris Oak and Skylar talk show, I guess. I have no idea what the fuck this name is.
This is the second episode that we're doing of this series. It's a new idea that Chris and I came up with yesterday. Thanks for messing with my mic. We've been having mic trouble for the last couple. Hey, thanks, dude. You know.
Fuck. Just fucking.
I don't want it on the shirt. I don't want it on the shirt. I want it right here.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, we're done. It was
we're good. We're
great.
good.
We went all around that circle to put it right back where it was.
You were missing a magnet. I need to fix it. Okay, welcome to the Chris Oak and Skylar.
For the third time, welcome
discussion.
to the show.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to.
It's a fucking shit show, if you ask me.
Okay,
Dude.
let's not say that because I'm gonna cut all this out. Let's do it again.
What do you mean? I like all this.
Welcome to the Skylar and Chris Oak Show. We're gonna be talking about some things that are going on in the music industry today. One of the topics we wanted to cover is things that really grind our gears in the music industry. So,
Completely stolen from a TV show, a cartoon, by the way, if you know
Yes.
what a cartoon is, but we're not dropping names in this thing.
we're going to talk about a lot of things going on in the music industry that are just messed up and frustrating and give you guys an inside look at what it's like to deal with
Just
things
a,
in the
just
music
a day
industry.
in the life of as like a standard artist musician.
Yeah. Just give you guys that are not musicians a perspective of what it's like and what we're dealing with. So that way you guys as listeners can understand and maybe learn a thing or two. So, let's start with one of the first topics we want to tackle right now.
All right, dude. Well, let's just before we just completely bitch and go into all this stuff, dude. I just want to talk about so musicians and like artists, right? Like to me are like the original storytellers, correct?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Sure. Yeah.
That's it. That's all.
That's all I have to say about
That's
it.
all you have to say.
It's an
about
opinion.
that. You're.
That's your opinion.
What are you then?
I don't have an opinion about that.
Are you not a storyteller with your Chris Oak music?
All the time. But I don't think all artists, all musicians are storytellers. I think some artists say some really stupid things in their music.
Okay, you know what? Actually, this is where we can healthily agree that I was just wrong right there.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Actually, you're right.
But that's my opinion. I mean, I think a lot of artists sing about like really cool things and like really important things and meaningful things, spiritual things. But I think there's a lot of music out there too that's like sung about really dumb shit.
See, now we're getting somewhere.
And
Now we're getting somewhere.
that's the best way I
this
can
is what
put
I wanted
it.
to hear, dude. Okay, now we're getting somewhere with it.
It's not my cup of tea, but if it's other people's cup of tea, who am I to yuck someone's yum? So
This is true.
yeah.
But like I can see what you mean. Like a lot of lyrics and stuff that are just like pointless and trivial and meaningless. It's like, well, what kind of story are you telling? And it's not one with a lot of depth, right? So that's arguably what makes music genuine to other musicians is the depth. So I think that's really important what you're saying, dude. Like you as a musician don't appreciate music without depth because that's not a good story. So not everyone who makes music is good at telling stories.
That's true.
That's cool.
And sometimes music, its intention is not to tell a story. You know?
Provide a feeling, right?
Sure. music is whatever you want it to be honest. I had my father come in and tell me that music is hope. And I said, well, it is, but it's not. Like, not all music is meant to be to give people hope. You know, some people make music that I personally think is not really meaningful. I'll give you an example.
You don't have to name drop right now.
You know, our friend was showing us a song recently about, this artist that's singing about DNA. And it's cool. Like, it's cool and futuristic, and like that's kind of their whole vibe. But they're basically just like vibing and talking about DNA. And I didn't really find it to be super like amazing. Okay. He really seemed to enjoy it. It's cool. You know, other people seem to enjoy it, but not my cup of tea. You know, it's cool. It's cool.
Which is fair, but I mean, even that. So like, I don't know the song you're talking about, nor do I know the artist actually. But like, okay, so they're making a song about DNA, but well, that to me, they're telling a structured or story about the topic that they wanted to talk about, which is about DNA. Whether or not it's good, that's a subjective opinion.
That's correct. Yes, that's correct.
So they are telling a story, just not one that you liked.
Yes.
Which is fine. That's fine.
You're not supposed to like every movie you watch.
How could you? Because there's some fucking doozies out there. Sorry, I don't want to be cuss. I don't mean to cuss.
Stop cussing.
I'm trying to.
Okay, we're gonna restart this.
We're not gonna restart the whole thing because I said one F-bomb. We're gonna bleep the one F-bomb and continue moving on, bro. We do it live.
My nose is so itchy. My nose is so itchy right now.
Well, you're getting sick, dude. So I appreciate you still taking the time out of your busy day to come do this idea that we came up with a couple days ago and pursue it despite you not feeling 100%, because not a lot of people would even make that effort to do that, because if they didn't feel totally in their zone or okay to do something, they wouldn't push through. So it means a lot to me as your friend.
Thanks, buddy.
For you to come and still do this with me despite you not feeling well. And that is very true to how a lot of people, and especially musicians, the serious ones, show up to do anything. So a testament to you, bro, and the music that you make.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Not alcohol, by the way. This is water. So that goes into the next point.
Let's talk about the first thing that grinds our gears today.
We're not using the grinds.
Which is social media. Social media. There is some bullshit that's going on with social media nowadays.
Hey,
shut the fuck up.
Buzzword.
So basically, So basically, one of the bullshits in social media that Skylar and I were dealing with recently was, I think that the restrictions on media and content that's able to be released is, one, hypocritical, and two, a little bit overzealous. And this is how I'm going to describe it. So like, we filmed a video not long interviewing each other where I was drinking a beer and my buddy was smoking tobacco. And unfortunately, that goes against TikTok's policies.
We weren't going to say the name.
And TikTok sucks.
We're not going to say the name of these things, bro. We're not bad-mouthing things on this.
TikTok sucks.
We're talking about the things that you already know we're talking about, but we're not going to directly name drop anyone or anything, because this isn't a trash talking episode or series. We're not going to sit here and say this person did this and be this like victim mentality or any of that stuff. We're just going to say, hey, this is what I see with certain platforms. I'm not going to name drop them because you probably already know what they are as the listener. Mm-hmm. So when I say, don't say the name of the place.
TikTok sucks.
Okay, dude. You know what? This is how you get shadow banned. What he's doing right now by saying this is how the algorithms of these companies see what you're saying, use their AI bots, and make your video not successful. Because if you're talking trash about an app on that app, they are going to hear it, listen to it, and then make sure your stuff doesn't get promoted. So also that goes into the guidelines things, what we're talking about, right? Yes. Which is that if you have anything that resembles a joint, right, or an illegal substance, even if it's not illegal, you can't post it on these apps because that's the algorithm that they're setting. And it's so unfair to artists because it's like, well, I'm just trying to be my authentic self, and guess what? My authentic self enjoys some of these things, and I can't post that. So I'm not being true to my authentic art because I can't post the things that I enjoy doing on these apps, which don't really tell you what their guidelines are before you post. So you go through all this effort to make something and make some content, and then you post it, and then you find out after what you did is not okay for their guidelines, which is incredibly frustrating for an artist.
So I know we're in the middle of the interview, but we spent the first like good chunk of the time like getting introductions and everything done. Can we start again? I won't use the name of the thing.
No, bleep it out. You want to do this? Do you want this to be real, or do you want to do that stuff? Dude, we're not gonna go back and like fix all this stuff. We're just gonna keep going and keep perfecting it as we go, because that's what we do as artists. We don't need to go back and edit all this stuff. We just need to be mindful. Hey, he said it. Keep moving forward, and just that's fine. If we want to bleep it out later, we can, but just be mindful of that going forward.
Okay. I'd really like to restart though.
No, we're not gonna restart, because everything I just said is good, and I'm not gonna redo that, dude.
Okay.
I'm sorry, like that was very real in the moment. I'm just gonna. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
And I don't want to have to reenact that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you okay, Chris?
I'm fine.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I really want to restart.
No, we're not gonna restart. We're moving forward, bro. On to the next question. Great. Let's talk about the fees that you get when you buy tickets to events. Again, we're not gonna name drop this platform, but when you go buy a ticket for a show, you probably know who we're talking about. But let's talk about that concept, shall we?
So there's this thing that artists deal with in the music industry called pay to play. So when small artists are trying to get into a venue, typically a venue will go and say that you have to sell a certain amount of tickets, and if you don't sell the certain amount of tickets, then the artist has to pay for that difference. And so we call this thing called pay to play. Basically, you have to pay money in order to play on a venue stage.
It's a race to the bottom.
Now, this thing has been going on for a very long time, and one of our very good friends, John Safari, from the Music League, has been basically a huge advocate of fighting against pay to play. And as musicians that are part of the Music League, that we have seen over the years, is that this is one of the biggest limiting factors for small independent artists that makes it hard for them to be able to perform more shows. Imagine this. Imagine that you're a small artist, but you cannot bring a draw of a crowd yet because you just don't have that big of a following yet. And so what happens is, in order to go and play at a venue, you have to go and sell a certain number of ticket sales. And if you don't do that, you have to, basically pay off the difference yourself. That could go up to a couple $100, depending on if it's like you have to sell 20 tickets at like $25 a pop. So with that said, essentially, it shows that...
Keep going. I didn't say stop.
You keep distracting me.
Stop being distracted. Are you not a professional? Keep going.
What was I saying?
I don't know, bro. What were you saying? You call yourself a freaking performer?
Can we restart?
No! We're not going to restart. You're talking about the play-to-play. Talk about it. Dude, if me pulling out a rock makes you forget your train of thought.
My ADHD kicked in.
Great. That's what it's also like being an artist. We struggle with ADHD. Stim maxing. We're not restarting it, dude. I don't want to do that. I don't want to restart it, Chris. Please. Sit back down and finish the fucking show.
Can we please restart?
No! Keep going. Now, where were we? Cut that out if you really want. We're not restarting.
So basically, if an artist is selling, a certain amount of tickets in order to have them come, there's a couple of, challenges that small independent artists face, which is, kind of sucks when you're small. The first thing that, can you not, please, seriously, it distracts me. That's not cool. Like, if we're gonna do this, don't do that.
Okay.
Like, seriously, I love you so much, but please don't do that. I'm trying my best to do this, and it's like, I'm already not getting it the way I want it to be, so I'm already getting antsy.
Well, dude, that's you being a perfectionist, which is very common to being an artist, bro. We struggle with perfectionism, thinking that our stuff isn't good enough. But guess what? It's not for us as artists to decide. It's for the viewer and the listener to decide whether or not they like it.
That's true.
So just focus on the making.
Stop distracting me now.
Things are gonna happen that are gonna distract you as a performer.
Okay.
Do you know, man? It's just a rock.
Okay, let me get back to my train of thought.
It's okay, bro.
I was just about to start and you interrupted me. Stop it. Can you just like not do anything? Can you just stop?
No, dude.
Can you just-
You're doing great, bro.
Stop it.
You're doing great.
Please, no, please stop. Please. Thank you. Okay, so one of the challenges that we face as musicians is essentially dealing with pay to play. And so pay to play is essentially this thing where artists need to be able to sell a certain amount of tickets in order to play at a venue. And so typically like a venue will expect you to sell like 20 to 25 tickets and you're gonna have to sell them at like 20 bucks a pop. That's a couple $100. And so if the artist can't sell all those tickets, typically venues expect them to pay the difference. The reason why venues do this is because they want to know that if they're gonna book an artist, they get a certain amount of turnout. And they want to be able to sell drink sales and food sales to the attendees that come to watch your show. So typically artists are expected to, one, bring the audience because of their pool. Number two, they're expected to sell these tickets. And if they don't sell these tickets, then three, they have to cover those costs. This thing of pay to play makes it very difficult for like small independent artists to be able to succeed and play more shows because essentially if they don't bring in the crowd, they have to compensate the venue for that difference. And now, yeah, I get it because the venues are a business and they have to make money at the end of the day.
But it comes at the artist's expense. It
yeah.
always comes at the artist's expense. You are the last one to get paid as the artist.
That's right.
And you are the entertainment of this place that you're bringing the people into. And so it's crazy how easy these places manipulate artists who just want to play, and so you have all these other artists competing with one another, and it becomes a race to the bottom. So you have to, as an artist, this is my personal opinion, you can't play these pay-to-play places because it's not worth it for anybody, and you're destroying the local community of music.
Yeah, so essentially a lot of bands that don't have the pool, and if they're not as big, they fail to be able to perform at these venues and like get more exposure and be able to open up for larger acts simply because they cannot draw the crowd that the venue wants. And if they don't, they have to compensate the venue for the difference. One of the things that we have been associated with is called the Music League, which is run by our friend John Safari. Shout out to you, John. And so he has been fighting the good fight of fighting pay to play at venues throughout Orange County and Los Angeles and San Diego to try to get smaller independent bands to be able to go and perform at these shows. And it was really incredible. He was able to put a lot of these places out of business by basically having his own shows at his own venues and being able to not do pay to play. And so artists were more likely to go to his shows rather than going to these other venues. And basically these artists as well, because we're a community, we like boycotted going against pay to play venues. And still to this day, pay to play exists. It's a constant challenge we have to face, but like Skylar said, it's constantly a situation of the artist being taken advantage of and them having to pay the difference to these venues that wouldn't be able to make any money if it wasn't for the artist bringing the crowd in the first place. And that deserves more respect, that deserves more payment to the artist because the artist is the one bringing in the clientele, not the venue. And so the last thing I wanted to add to that is this, is that let's say you did have a show where it was pay to play and you did have to sell tickets. Well, if you had one show where like you sold tickets to people, the first people that are gonna come typically for an artist are gonna be family and friends. So if it's not gonna be family and friends like that are gonna come the second or the third or the fourth time because they already saw one of your shows, you're gonna have to really rely on having a really big fan base and a pool to be able to make it make sense financially. And that's where there's this barrier to entry that's really challenging for artists because it's like, yeah, you could probably do it once and do a pay-to-play venue and like make it work, but then to do it consistently in like different areas throughout your region, like for example, within Southern California, it's gonna be a lot more challenging to be able to bring your friends and family again. You're definitely gonna have to be able to bring like a crowd, a fan base. And that's where, at the end of the day, the marketing and the promotion and building your audience comes into play next as an artist. So, you want to talk about social media and how difficult that is to promote stuff?
Before we move on, just something that goes in that whole realm of what you're just talking about is so when you do these pay-to-play places, you have typically what's called a promoter at these places, but they are like the furthest thing from a promoter, right? They're just somebody who collects the money and makes a flyer, but doesn't promote or bring anyone to your show. It all falls on you as the artist to bring everybody. But these people walk around calling themselves promoters. It's such a false title. And maybe it worked back in the day, but what it's become currently is nothing to do with promoting the show. It's just them collecting the artist's money and being the middleman between the artist and the venue. And it's exhausting as an artist to try to navigate all this stuff when you're just starting out because you think you're trying to do everything right. Oh, I'm gonna go book with the promoter. And then you learn the promoter doesn't do anything for you besides maybe make a flyer, but they put that on the artist most of the time too. They're like, you provide the flyer and we'll post it on our Instagram. So he just runs a social media account and posts the flyers that are given to him instead of actually promoting anything at all.
So when you have a good promoter typically will, 1, find the venue, 2, book the artist, 3, create the flyer, 4, do the promotion to like other people throughout their network and within the community. Number 5, help spread advertisement with other acts that are on the bill to be able to spread more awareness through their marketing. So it's basically a very challenging world trying to find good promoters to work with as independent artists and finding venues that are willing to not do pay to play. And luckily in Skylar's and in my experience, we found some of those people, but you know, the music industry, as many people have heard, you know, not everyone's gonna be the best of actors. And so we do see this with some promoters and with some venues, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. It is not any different from any industry of work that I find. You have disingenuous people, and that's just the reality of it. That's everywhere you go, though. So the music industry is littered with them. So, and you just learn this through trial and error and experience. But the hard part is you're constantly putting yourself out there and being incredibly vulnerable just to be thrashed and taken advantage of by these people. It's kind of a lot more emotionally taxing than I would probably say a 9-to-5 job is.
Yep. It's a lot of work.
And then artists get increasingly upset over this stuff because you're just trying to be emotionally raw and real and put your stuff out there, and then you just get continuously thrashed. It's like no wonder they turn to drinking and doing substances to numb some of that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, moving on. Here, I have a briefcase full of things because I knew we were going to run out of stuff to talk about.
You have a briefcase?
Yes.
Oh my God.
A briefcase full of things. So let's talk about this right here.
Oh, this is cool. So I'm not sponsored by this, but this is a card that I was recommended to by my girlfriend that I could use internationally to go and convert my dollars to euros and other currencies with minimal fees. So we are not sponsored by these guys, but I just got my card today, and I'm not going to show you my card number, but I have this card, and I'm really excited for it, and it's really dope.
So how does this card? I was asking you. This is why I was curious. How is this going to benefit you as an artist or creative musician?
So this card is basically going to allow me to travel without having to pay exorbitant fees.
Okay.
That's all it does.
That's it.
That's all it does.
Oh, so it's not even music related. Lame.
Are you talking about the other card?
I don't know. You didn't bring the other card.
I didn't bring the other card
because you didn't want to. So I have to talk about something else in here. Here, talk about this. You want a chicken heart from our last episode?
Ew, you still have that? That's gross. That's so gross. Why do you, ew, what the fuck? What is this? Is this a mini album?
So,
is it covered in grease from the chicken heart, bro?
No, it's
this
not
is gross.
covered in grease from the chicken heart, dude.
That's gross.
Okay, it's not. So this is kind of a new concept that one of our other friends was showing us, and this is kind of, I think, where like albums and CDs are headed. It kind of reminds me of that early like 1990s thing. I'm forgetting what it was, but it would have like 15-second snippets of songs, and you would put it on a little jukebox and it would play. It had like Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and all those like little things.
That's cool.
It was a little keychain, but essentially these little tiny things are kind of coming back into fashion, and people are putting their QR codes, which is allowing you to download the artist's music directly, which actually is far more beneficial for the artist than running through a lot of these massive streaming platforms that, again, we're not going to name, but they really don't give anything back to the artist. So it's really cool to see little things like this kind of surface. And I was just at your house and you were showing me this whole other concept of a business card that plugs into a phone where you can directly download the music on your phone and then have it saved, as so you're not reliant on like the internet to listen to your music. And that's how things were for a long time before we entered this digital streaming age, which has its pros, but its cons are definitely apparent if you're an artist.
This is really cool.
Thanks.
It's a little oily though.
It might be from the chicken heart. I lied. Continue. Do you want to pull something else out, or do you have another topic you want to talk about?
Didn't we write down a bunch of stuff we were going to discuss? Why are we not following that?
We did, bro. We went through it all. We went through it all.
What do you mean? Is that it?
That was it.
What?
That was all I wrote.
Okay, well that's all for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Just kidding.
Okay. That's all you need, dude. I mean, that's fine. That's plenty of content right there.
That is, but you know.
Do you want to make it longer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, pause it. Now you can pause it.
Hey. What